Hey guys, it's me, Alexander. You might be wondering why I don't have glasses on. It's because I am wearing contacts. Second thing, you guys might be wondering why there's been no updates whatsoever on my Emerald Bowtie channel. No, it's not dead necessarily. I don't know. I don't know when it's gonna die. But the reason there's been nothing popping up there is because it's currently over there in a box. The whole computer, I mean, not the channel. That'd be kind of interesting. Anyway, it's packed up in a box because I am working from home now, and being a call center representative, I had to bring a work computer home. Now, the only place I could put that work computer was on my desk, which had my own computer on it. So I had to take that all apart, put it down, not put it down, you know what I mean. I had to take it down, put it in a box for later, once things get more sorted out in my life. Anyway, so that's why there's no videos popping up there, but if I'm able, from time to time, I will still put stuff on this channel. Gosh, I need to get a haircut. I'm getting a haircut today. And look at that long hair. But yeah, it's been a while since you guys saw me, huh? Hi, how are you? Say so in the comments how you are doing. I hope you guys are doing well, especially with all this coronavirus stuff going on. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, like I said. And hopefully, when things change, gosh, my hair, gosh, when things change, I'll try and do videos again. I don't know. I can't guarantee it because life. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you guys are doing well. Like I said, I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. I'm just kidding. I hope I don't get copyright for that. Anyway, it's my voice. It might not be my words, but it's my voice. Anyway. Well, you guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe, all right? Thanks. I don't know how to end this. If you guys liked and no, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Well, one thing I can show you. Check this out. Finally got one of these. They're so cool. They're not as impressive on the inside, but it's pretty cool. I also got this one. This one's white. Glows white. And this one, it's really nice because it's got this brilliant sheen on it. The only issue I had with it, I thought it had a hinge. It has magnets that keep it together. And this one I found out was supposed to be for like sitting on a shelf instead of like tossing it in the air like I do. The other one works fine. That one's got a hinge. But yeah, this one's for display only, which is kind of sad. But I found out about that. Yeah. But all's going well on that. So anyway, I just thought that would be interesting thing. Oh, also, I did get the original Game Boy, like you saw in my last video, if you watched it. I got the original Game Boy. I traded in a Game Boy Pocket for it, which the Game Boy Pocket, the batteries were dead, so I'm like, I might as well. I've always wanted the original Game Boy, but now I've got that and the Game Boy Advance, which is nice. I also acquired for $55. I got the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Not any remakes or anything like that, but it's the original Nintendo Entertainment System. I also do have one cartridge for it. It's the original cartridge. I don't have the tracker gun or zapper or whatever it is. I don't have that, and plus that only works on certain TVs, for your own information, in case you ever get one of those. It only works on old TVs, not LCD or LED or whatever. Like, you have to get an old TV for it. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of interesting learning this old technology. That's something I've been up to recently. Yeah, it's been really fun. A good, healthy distraction from crazy things in life. But like I said, I am working through things right now in my life, and so I don't want to share too much online. But yeah, so you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to keep working on that. Today, I'm hopefully going to get a new motherboard for the NES. The reason I need a new one is I thought the games were dirty. It looked a lot like it was leaning that way. Or because I got two of the exact same cartridge, the same game. It's the original Super Mario Bros. With Duck Hunt. I tried that, and it wasn't loading it correctly. The first time I put one of the cartridges in, it worked almost fine. Just the textures were a lot off. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll clean it, and I cleaned it with water first. Of course, with like a Q-tip, because yeah. Do you know you're not even supposed to blow in those? I don't really care though, but over time, blowing in it can actually be bad for it because of moisture. But I make sure it dries and everything like that after I use the Q-tip. I did water first, and I did rubbing alcohol. Um, and then I went and saw a professional, and he's like, "Yeah, that'd be a good way to do it," sort of thing. Um, I hope it is. Anyway, but the cartridges were clean. That was all fine and dandy, but it was loading both the cartridges like on the screen. It looked exactly the same, and it was that sounds kind of weird without you having seen what I saw, but it was like two lines, one on the top, one on the bottom, and it was just random textures repeated, and it wasn't good at all. It looked like there was something seriously wrong. It wouldn't load the game very well at all. I brought the NES back to the place I got it. He gave me a 30-day guarantee on it, so if anything was wrong, I could return it and see about it. And that was last week. Today, he's hopefully going to get back to me on getting a new motherboard for it because it turns out it was the NES, which, I mean, like all the pins were replaced and everything already. So he concluded it was just the motherboard after opening it up, taking a look at it, trying it out and stuff. He had like a test cartridge, like to test like the NES. I was like, whoa. And that thing loaded pretty well, but not perfect. And so that's how he was able to tell. But yeah, it's a really neat place. It's called Minus World Games. Really neat. I've also been to places. Let's see, there was up in like near Logan or something, Logan, Utah. One time I went over there, and in this mall. It's a one-story mall, really old. You can tell, or I think it's pretty old. But I went there with my friend Caden, and oh my gosh, it was nuts. They had this one shop. We went in and basically like walked into the main area and did like a U-turn. Like it was like right there on the corner of the end of the hallway that we came in through. That shop right there, I don't remember what it was called. But oh my gosh. Like think about when you walked into some store, you probably went in once. And it's just like old stuff, like old video game stuff, and just think of that time where you saw the most like Game Boy games or Game Boy thing. Like like you don't find the hardware anymore, but think the one store you went into where you saw the most Game Boy games you've ever seen in your entire life, which might have been 2, might have been 5, might have been 10, might have been 15. Times that by a million. That's how I felt when I walked into that store. Um, I walked in there. They had not one, not two, but like 3 or 4. Or no, it was 3 like display cases full of just Game Boy cartridges. Most of them Game Boy Advance. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And like, I was geeking out. They had everything, and like it looked like a hoarder's paradise, honestly. But their like motto or whatever was something like, "This is where all the crabbins up," or something like that. But it was like that. I don't. It wasn't that word for word, but it was something real similar. But it was meant the same thing no matter what. But I saw like stuff for Game Boy I've never seen before. Like it was nuts. I even went there and I got a Game Boy camera. Yes, the Game Boy camera. Like, and oh my gosh, that thing was neat. I still have it. And now I can plug it into my original Game Boy and it looks great. But that's so cool. That's something I've always wanted. I also saw. I'm just sorry. I'm still blown away by that place. I spent at least probably about an hour of my life in there. At least. That was like, oh my gosh. So Caden's girlfriend. I can't remember her name. Dang it. I feel awkward now. Anyway, I want to say it was Liz or something, but now I'm concerned. Oh no. Anyway, well, I know her last name better, but anyway, she had to pull us out of there. um, like we set a timer when we went in, and it was hard. It was so hard. They had video game stuff. They had like stuff I've never seen before, and like at the time I felt that was saying something, but I they had, and not just old stuff too. They had VHS tapes, they had DVDs, they had music, they had CDs, they had probably had records in there. But then they also had like Switch games and amiibos and stuff like that. They had controllers of all kinds. They even had like an arcade machine back there, way in the back where it was so messy that like my mom would probably freak out. um, but oh my gosh, I'm still blown away from it. I have a slight headache right now, by the way, but not because of that, hopefully. Um, but yeah, sorry, I just realized this has been a lot longer of a video than it was going to be. But yeah, there's been that place. I've also been to a place called Game Grid. Um, let's see. There's not many places out there that I still have Game Boy stuff. Oh, I did get a Game Boy e-reader. Yes, and I don't think it's e-reader like what you would think an e-reader is today. I think it meant something else. It was like electronic card reader sort of thing, I guess. And the only reason I even knew about that was because I have Pokemon. What was it? Pokemon TV, Pikachu TV, something like that. Basically, the GameCube's version of or Hey You Pikachu sort of thing, which was interesting. I had that game and it came with e-reader cards because I have the original instruction booklet, stuff like that, which was neat. But yeah, one thing I've found, if you grow up with video games, they mean a lot to you. Of course, you should never just waste your life on something, but they are fun. Like kind of like when if you're a kid and you went out and always played outside with your friends, played baseball. Baseball would be a big part of your life. Same thing with video games. If you always played video games with your friends, or you always talked about video games with your friends, when you're little. I mean, it becomes a big part of your life. I remember there was a time where I wasn't really into video games, or I wanted to be, but I don't know, I just never had really any good ones, and people were always talking about them, and so like I want to get into it, and I started getting into it. Later, I got into Minecraft, stuff like that. And I look back at it now, I'm like, it's hard to see my life without them. Just because they mean a lot to me. There's certain things from them that I've learned, and it's like my childhood in a way. And everyone has a thing like that. Everyone does, and it's not. I mean, you got to balance yourself on everything. You can't spend all your time to like dedicating yourself to one thing unless it's important. And I'm not saying that those childhood things aren't important, but you've also got to balance yourself on those because, say, I looked everything into the Nintendo 64, or say Pac-Man, or like Mario, or something like that. If I focused mainly on that, and that was my drive, I wouldn't be able to balance out other things like reading and stuff like that. And for me, reading can be stress relief. And I mean, I bet a lot of people nowadays have more anxiety than before. And so it's more noticeable. Things that you need for anxiety, things like that, and depression sometimes. But sorry, it sounds like I'm just saying a bunch of stuff. But I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to say is everyone's got their thing that they grew up with, that that it just means a lot to them, not for any specific reason, but it just means a lot. And it's like my little brother. If he had never gotten into computers and things like that when he was little, he would be a completely different person now. And and it's not like that's his life, but in a small way, it is part of him. I can't imagine him not knowing some of the stuff he knows, because he can say stuff like if you ask him a question about Apple, he can say the answer without even thinking. He knows it. He knows it well, and he's 11. I mean, things like that. It's something that you've really you've got to understand, and not everyone understands. So a lot of people look at, like, say, video games, for example. It's always like the scapegoat in a way, or not scapegoat, but it's the thing where, oh, well, it used to be, oh, well, it will rot your brain. Now it's more like, well, it's not as good. So, some older people see it that way, and there's nothing bad about that. They have their own view of it, but you also got to keep in mind, this is our baseball, this is our sledding, this is our it's our sport. This is something that we weren't good at other things, but we were good at this, and we invested our time in this, and now this is something that we know very well. There's almost like a gamer culture sort of thing, where, or not culture, but where it's just this thing where non-gamers, say they start playing Portal, for example. This is a good example. This is a good example. First time playing Portal, they're not a gamer. They don't understand basic gaming things like WASD. That's pretty much your movement, how you move around in the game. You move the mouse around in order to look around, things like that. The space bars, jump, stuff like that. They don't fully understand those simple things, which those things go without saying for gamers, because everyone knows those. Those are basic. Those are like the default. That's like using your hands. I mean, like, it's like you don't think about it. That's just, it's like an extension of your arm. In a way, it is like your arm. It's like your legs and your arms. That's just how you play video games on the PC. Now, if I were to say that, no, let's see. If here, I've got another, like, well, what I'm trying to say with at least that example is, if you don't know those basic things, if you didn't grow up with those, if those aren't already an extension of your arm, it's like you're trying to play an instrument that you've never ever seen before, and it's your first time ever seeing it, and you are used to it's like you're used to playing the drums, and you've been given a saxophone. It doesn't work the same way, because you're not used to that. That's not something you're acquainted with, and it's harder to learn it as time goes on, because it's harder to learn things as time goes on. Your mind isn't as malleable as it used to be. I don't know if that's the right word for that, but yeah. I remember the first time I tried to play Minecraft after being a PC gamer, Java edition. I tried to play Minecraft on the Xbox. Now, I have like only Nintendo products, so I didn't. This was before it was even on the Switch. This was before the Switch came out. I tried to play it on like the Xbox 360, and I could not get the trigger buttons, like L and R and all that. I could not get that to work right for me, not at all. The reason was because I'm not acquainted with that. I could not, like, I would always get them confused. I didn't know, I had to check the first few times on what was the break button, what was the place button for the blocks, and I was not smooth at all with my movement, nothing. It was very frustrating for myself, and probably for anyone else watching me, if I wasn't somewhat acquainted with Minecraft already. And it's just things like that. Wow, this has become a longer video. I already said that, but what I'm trying to say is, for those who are watching, if you are concerned about someone who's played video games a lot, don't be as concerned. Only be concerned if they're making that their life. It's okay to play Minecraft. It's okay to play video games. But it's not okay to dedicate yourself to video games. There are certain limits in this world and in our lives that we've got to, like, there's certain boundaries we have to set up, rules for ourselves, if you will. Without those rules, you have no structure. Without any structure, you can go insane. You can. It's hard. You can't process things. You can't think as clearly. Well, you can process things, but not as efficiently. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not justifying. I'm just letting you know there are. You have to have guidelines. You have to have guide rails. You have to have limits for yourself. Not so much limits. That's not the right word. You have to have guidance. You have to have balance. Because without that, you have no structure. And without structure, how can anything function? You're just bouncing off the walls. You're a particle in a room. I mean, you're just bouncing everywhere. There's no rhyme or reason. Maybe there is somewhat, but it's not worth it because it doesn't make sense to you or anyone else. And you can tell yourself that it does make sense. Of course, this all depends on the person. Everything always depends on the person. I'm not trying to get anyone mad. I'm just saying I've learned from my own experience that if I don't set limits for myself, I get a headache or my eyes hurt or I can't see straight. If I'm always this close to the screen, watching videos, and then I try and go drive my car, it's hard to see straight because I can't see very far. My eyes are so acquainted with it being with looking this close rather than that far. Yeah. I don't I don't know how this happened where I'm just talking a lot, but I guess this happens here and there, and I don't know, maybe